Greetings, everyone. Dr. Annette West, Publishing Pusher here. Thanks for joining me. In the jet name, publishing, talking all things books. Yes, the operative words, all things. I'm excited you're here. You listen in, share your thoughts. You don't have to be live on the screen to be able to talk. And I want you to know your success is my business. I'm here to assist you, support, empower, inspire as we pull out those thoughts to get these books accomplished. Thanks again for joining me.
Yeah, so you are in the Talking All Things books with Dr. Annette, and I want you to know that these sessions actually get moved over to our podcast, the Publishing Pusher podcast, and we share them in the podcast. So I want you to know this content will also be on another platform. You'll be able to grab that content and even share it for yourself if there's particular things that you want to share. So I always like to start out by saying, what's going on in your world? Yes, what I know everybody has something going. I know I got a lot of stuff going on, but I don't want to talk about me at the moment. So who wants to open their mic and talk about what's going on in your world? Don't let me fight you for the screen. Tisha, if you're talking, I can't hear you. Your mic is closed.
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Tisha Winkler. I'm here in Baltimore City, and it's kind of cloudy outside, but I'm still happy on the inside. So I'm glad to be here today.
Good to have you. Anybody else?
I'm Amina. I'm from DC, and what's going on in DC? Well, we doing a book tour, the Dynamic 3, and we're looking for sponsors for our tour, and I'm happy about that. This is gonna be our first tour, and I'm a first time author. Yes, there you go.
Now, Amina, what is your book?
It's called The Perfect Life.
The Perfect Life. Give me a nugget real quick from The Perfect Life.
Okay. Well, this is a basically it's a spiritual awakening book, and one thing I give you a nugget. She's a woman of God, but the thing about that she lacks in is that she idolized her husband more so than God.
Ah, okay. Very good. Thank you. Miss Anna?
Well, today launched my podcast called Coach Up Podcast with Jerry Royce, and it will be including issues having to do with my role as a writer, published author myself, but more as a coach for upcoming writers and a veteran educator who works with usually classroom teachers. And so the podcast is called Planning with Purpose to Empower Learners. And the learners could be classroom students. And this summer, we're doing a program series called Keeping Them on Stream. And it's designed to help the students stay connected all summer to what they studied in school this past year. And so that'll be a series of podcasts. But also my last publication about the Robertson family, there's a series where I interview people who contributed to that book. Among them was Dr. West. And so how do you get your book published may be different from the way I did mine, but perhaps knowing how I did mine will give you some ideas of how you can do yours. And so we launched that today as a result of this program, where I learned about podcasts and learned about the services that Jerry Royce offers. So if you look on my Facebook page, Anna Roseborough on Facebook, you'll see that it launched today. So on Thursday, that's what I'm doing. I'm sitting here, going to wait and see how many people check in that day and how many people share it. But thank you for giving ideas, and I look forward to Amina to hearing more about what you're doing. Tisha, I couldn't tell what you were doing. You just said you were glad to be here. Are you going to tell
I'm
us?
sorry, I can tell you what I'm doing. I'm sorry. My name is Tisha Winkler. I'm a podcast host with Barbie Johnson on the Book Breakers podcast. We've been doing it for 4 years. I am an author of 4 books, and I have an anthology book with the best-selling author Melanie Bonita.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
And congratulations, Miss Anna, on your podcast and the very channels that your Robinson family is taking in the various media. So that is exciting. Good morning, Angela. I see Angela here, and I also see Jessamine eBay. Hey, baby. Good to have you in the space. What's up? Good to have y'all in the space. I want to remind everybody, we're just talking, sharing right now is open, and it is an open platform. It's a talking all things books Q&A. And then today I will always be also be talking about some book launching insight as well. And I'm sure that all of you who've done your books, you got some good sharing to impart with us also when it comes to pre-release, launching the book, and then post-release as well. 3 different phases. Anybody else want to share what's going on?
Well, good morning, everyone.
So beautiful. Where are you in this big world?
I'm right now. I'm in Clarksville, Tennessee.
Okay, very good.
We moved here in 2020. No, 2020. Yes, we did.
Okay. Oh, so you've been there a good while. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So right now I am preparing for my 9th annual encounter.
You went down. We lost you. Your sound went down.
Uh-oh. What happened?
Okay. Okay.
Can you
down?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
We're in the middle of some thunderstorms, flash flooding, so that might be the cause. My apologies.
No, you're fine.
I'm right now preparing for my 9th annual encounter. It will take place here May 17th, right here in Clarksville. So excited about that. I've been looking in establishing and starting my own publishing company. I've been doing some research about that. So because I have some, yeah, well, can you not hear me, or are you giving me that face because of what I'm talking about?
You went up and down. Did you say you were starting a publishing company? I wasn't sure if that's what you said.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I said, if it's going to be an issue, then I'll just.
No, you're good.
Yeah,
okay.
With my.
So have you written a book yet?
So I've written one. It actually was a book of poetry.
Okay.
That I wrote a couple of years ago. And then I was actually a part of the 30 Daughters when they did their first devotional. I was a part of that as well.
Actually, Jetney Publishing actually did the first one. Yes.
Yes,
great.
ma'am. I do recall. Yes.
Good. Yes, I forgot about that. Yes.
Yes. So I'm currently working on a book of devotionals myself, and then also another book titled The Valley of the Shadow of Death. So I'm looking forward to looking forward to getting those things completed and just seeing where God takes me. There's many visions and things that He's given me, and I know that this is the year where I'm being told that it's time. Procrastination has to, it has gone out the window, and this is the time. So I'm being proactive and intentional about all that God has told me to do to go forward to make that happen.
I love it. Well, you're in the right place if you're getting ready to do your publishing company. I'm sure you'll get some great nuggets as you come into talking all things book, because we just give it away free. Why? Because God's giving it to us. Okay. So we want to make sure that if we're out there, and the reason we want to make sure that we're sharing this information is because there are still some who have that mindset that is, if you're self-publishing, your content is not as good as a traditional a publisher, but it can be. It can be. You just have to really dig deep and make sure that you are in line and got everything done. Like they say, you got every I dotted and every T crossed and every period in place. These are things that are necessary if we want to be successful and prove that we are capable of having professional book projects out here. I'm just going to say this real quick to Miss Anna, or about Miss Anna. Let me tell you, if you work with Miss Anna, I just told somebody this yesterday. They were talking about editing. I said, listen, do you just want an editor, or do you want the editor that's going to challenge you? See, that's the question. If you just want any editor, then get anybody. But if you want the editor that's going to challenge you and ask you questions, I said, Miss Anna is the editor, because she has that. She had what I don't have. I don't have that keen insight. I'm not, look, I can edit my stuff to a degree, and then I'm passing it on to a professional editor. Okay. So we have to know where we all fit in the process. But Miss Anna is a professional editor. Okay. She know her English. She know her grammar, y'all. And she has a keen eyesight to asking you about your question or that statement or that sentence, and how does that paragraph connect, and is it disjointed? I mean, you be like, oh my gosh, but you're gonna work for it, but it is well worth. I cannot stress the importance of being willing to pay a professional editor after you have done, we call it edit ready. After you have done everything in your power to get your book the best it can be, then you want to go to the professional editor. But what you have is edit ready. And then you're still going to see that what you thought you knew, you didn't know, and you thought you had it right and it wasn't. Go ahead, Miss Anna.
I just want to say, I cannot say that I'm a professional editor. I'm an experienced classroom teacher, which is a little bit different in that because I taught for so many years with students across the country, I learned to zone in on what's working and come up with recommendations of what could make it better. However, I have editors of work that I write. And no matter how long you've been writing, no matter how well you write, you need another set of eyes, because our eyes tend to fill in the blanks. Mm-hmm. We know what we intended to say. We know what our fingers put in, but when someone else reads it, they're missing something. So thank you, Dr. West, for the endorsement of the work we've been able to do together. But keep in mind that we all need editors. And it doesn't have to be the online editing. Human editors add another level of personal voice to our writing. So thank you for that. And if you're looking for someone to give you feedback along the way, that's why I call myself a coach rather than the editor, because you may find something after I've looked at it that needs to be fixed, but I can help along the way. And it's a pleasure to be able to do it after all these years of reading all those papers.
Y'all, she didn't want to take the credit, but she a professional, okay? I'm going to tell y'all, she a professional. I have given her that title. She is a professional. And I know because I've been working with Ms. Anna for what, like the last 6-7 years, I guess it has been now. We've been working on collaborations together. So I know the caliber of what she brings to the table. Hey, Jerry, good to see you. I know Jerry's in the office today, so he probably won't be able to talk, but good to have you in the space, Jerry. Did anybody else want to say anything about what's going on in their world with their books and what efforts they're making? And nobody has no issues with anything that's going on, right? Everything is flowing the way it needs to be.
Yes.
Love it.
I can't say that everything is flowing the way it needs to be, but I can see that there are people on board who are helping me to stay on task. And that's one of the advantages of joining this discussion group each week. Every week, you're going to hear something that will either encourage you or smack you in the face and say, get up and get going. But, and also something you can share with someone else. You'll hear someone talking about a project. He says, I'm not sure, but I heard on Dr. West talking all things book, that if you contact Jerry Royce, he can get you on board doing A, B, C, or D. So she's patting me on the back. I'm going to pat her on the back. Keep coming.
And I'll just introduce Jerry Royce. Great person to know. I am connected to Jerry. I'm on his network. I am live on Thursday mornings at 10:30 in DeKalb, Georgia. I'm on the network there with my ministry that I do on Sunday morning, and then we're moving it over to there as well. I have my podcast, and then I also have my podcast on Jerry's network as well. It's Jerry Royce Live, but I'm telling you, get your content in as many places as you can, because your audience is not the same on every platform. And so
Yeah.
you want to make sure that you want to be able to Google yourself and you show up with all of the
Yeah.
things that you're doing, right? Go ahead, Tisha.
No, and that's you hit the mark on that one because someone told me that about 2 years ago, and I was like, I did it, and everything came up, and I was like, oh wow. But I just want to piggyback and just say thank you to Jerry Royce Live. He has been very supportive, not only with the Book Breakers podcast, but we've been on a lot of platforms, and I just want to honor him today.
Yes, he does. He does great work, and he's patient with you.
Yeah.
He has lots of grace. Yes, yes, yes. Well, if we have no more comments, let me check my chat and make sure I didn't miss anything. We just have hellos. Okay.
Doing that, I do have one question. Is it ethical, legal, or whatever to include on our own podcast channels interviews that have been done on other people's? You mentioned Googling. I didn't realize how many interviews show up that where I've been on other people's programs, and they're about the same length as the podcasts that I've arranged to do with Jerry Royce. Is it appropriate, ethical, or whatever, that if on 1 week I upload the interview that you did with me, Dr. West, on A, B, C, or D?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because
it's you.
Right. So, because having a weekly show while we're doing other things can be a challenge. But the fact that Ada on Ada's Quip Corner, she's been interviewing me usually 2 or 3 times a year for the past 4 or 5 years. And when my husband is checking online to see what I'm doing, he keeps pulling these up. But now that I have my own channel, wanted to know, is it appropriate, whatever, to include those on as available? Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. First, that is good.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to share what's going on in my world. Of course, I can't share it all, y'all. Y'all know that, right? Because there's a whole lot of stuff going on. But I want to share on the screen real quick these books. Okay? These are books. And this is, I'll say this real quick. This was our first book that we did on Centered in Christ back in 2020. The gray line is, of course, that this is a review copy, which means it's not for sale. But this was our first book anthology that we did 8 stories, 8 people wrote stories, and then Miss Anna actually contributed poetry to this book. At the end of that year, this book did well. This was the book that we actually asked people to give us resources, and people gave us resources, and we were able to purchase books and donate them to the prisons, the women's prison to be exact. And thank God for Miss Anna, because she connected us to those prisons. But after we finished that book, I had questions from people like, what are we going to do next? What's going to be the next book? And so I'm going to show you these real quick because this has been our journey. In 2021, we wrote the book, Steadfast and Immovable, but you see it's what? Centered in Christ. So this began our series. This was our first book. Our second book was called Pursuing Peace. You notice that beautiful tree on each picture because that's our center. Our third book in 2023 was Lift Him Up. Our fourth book in 2024 was Power, Praise, Prayer in Worship. And I got to show y'all this. Bam! This is our review copy, but this is our newest book, Centered in Christ, the fifth in the series. Time flies. We've done one a year, and time flies. This one is Developing My Identity and Self-Worth. And Miss Anna is a part of this collaboration, as well as 14. I wrote 2 stories in it. Miss Anna gave a great poetry section in it. And then we have another story in there about a young lady from Africa. And then we have about 17, 18 devotions in the book as well. So it is packed with great insights and content, stories from people's lives. And so I just wanted to let you know what's going on in my world. And I'm excited because we will be launching this Thursday before Mother's Day. And those who order pre-order copies will get theirs before Mother's Day to share them. So one of the purpose of me sharing this is because we've done it, but also to let you see how easy it is to build your books, to build your bookcase, okay? To build your resources, to have content to put in your toolbox. The question is, what's in your toolbox? The my S3 model says, if you don't show up, people don't know who you are. If you don't speak out, people don't know what you have to say. And if you don't share it, people don't know what's in your toolbox. So guess what? We have to put things in our toolbox. So as opportunities arise, guess what? We have content, we have resources that we can share. So I just wanted to put that little plug in there. If you're interested in a copy, you can go to Jatne Publishing, JATNE publishing.org. And you can also, Miss Anna is also a contributor, so you can actually order from Miss Anna as well. I don't really worry about selling books at this point. Tuesday Pain is actually on my Jatne Publishing. So if any sales go to Jatne Publishing, they actually go to Tuesday Pain. So I don't sell any copies of the book until the book is launched, because I want my contributors to be able to, regain their resources, recoup what they invested.
One thing you mentioned about sharing, sometimes our sharing is given. And that first book, Centered in Christ, I happened to be in the mentor role of some young ladies who were in prison. And I just put out a call. I said, we'd like to send this book to women who are currently in prison. And we got enough to send 100 books out. Sometimes people just want to know how they can help get the word out. So don't be reluctant to ask for support or for help. And as Dr. West is doing now, she's sharing with us now. So sometimes the sharing does not bring bucks to our pocket, but they help us with our ministries. And so let's get the word out, but keep getting our work out as well.
Thank you, Miss Anna. I see Amina asked a question. She said, why is it hard for churches to let people come in and do a book signing or speak, hotels, bookstores, or coffee shops? I don't think it's as hard as people think it is. I think we have to target. Who is your targeted audience? You have to know the places that you are going to, and you have to know what works for that place. A lot of bookstores that I know have allowed me to bring my books. A few of them said, well, you give us this percentage of your sales, but you can set up here and you can do your books. See, it has to be a win-win, okay? I mean, it's just the way it is. If you're trying to get into bookstores and coffee shops and things, it has to be a win, something on both ends of this for people to gain. So I have had the opportunity to go at a Christmas at one time where it was a bookstore in the mall that had slow traffic. So when I talked to her, she was like, well, we can't get your book, but if you have your books, we will give you a table in the mall right outside our door, and that might get people to stop at you, and that might get people in our store. And they didn't even charge me any amount for doing it. They were just hoping that the people that came to my table would do what? come into the store and purchase books. So you really have to talk to places to see how you can offer something to them, because most of them are not going to get your book. Your name does not resonate as such that they would, but you have to say, is it possible that if I have my books and I can come to your place, I can 15%, 20%, okay?
Her question was churches, and I can tell you some
Well,
denominations.
she started with churches, but then she's mentioned
Yeah.
hotels and bookstores and coffee shops. But go ahead, Miss Anna, because some churches have their own rules. Go
Yes,
ahead.
many
Yeah.
churches have their own policy that nothing can be sold on the church grounds. And it's based on the New Testament, when Christ said, don't be selling in the temple. And so I say, be prepared for that and to honor that. But some of them may allow you to let people know, let the church members know when you're going to be having it. But I happen to grow up in a church like that. And if someone was having something to sell, they parked across the street from the church. The church burned and we were trying to raise money for it. And some people were bakers and they would bake pound cakes for people to have for Sunday dinner. After service, they'd park across the street from the church. There happened to be a school over there, and that's where they would sell. Our libraries are the same here. Our county libraries do not allow you to sell on their property, but they will allow you to have author events. So check them out. As Dr. West says, each one has its own policies, but if you honor those policies, you'll be honored for being an honorable person.
Yeah, and I recommend getting into some libraries. Just go to the library and set up just a little event. You might do a little workshop or something, and you're not selling anything, but you will have your business cards that have your information, your QR codes that people can scan. And so when you're talking about your book, you say, hey, well, the QR code is on the back of that card, or the QR code is on that flyer or something. So there is still a way for you to do it without you having books on hand, like right there, and selling them. So there are ways that you can do certain things. And then there are some churches that don't have a problem with you selling. It just depends on what's going on at the church. Okay. I've sold books at many churches, but they had an area that was set up for that. But every church will be different.
Oh, Miss Ann, can I say something?
Of course.
Oh yes, I want to piggyback on that. On our team, the Dynamic Three, Barbie Johnson, she's a publisher. I know when she first had her first book, and when she had a book launch at Panera Bread, and the only thing they asked her were the customers, just to buy food there, and they let her have it there for like about 3 or 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
A lot of people I know are doing little coffee places, small places, reading from their book and networking, meeting people and networking, giving them cards, giving them, here's a nice little giveaway you can do. Get you some bookmarks.
Okay.
Get you some bookmarks that are neutral to your overall efforts, okay? Not specific to that book, because if you have a book, you want to get bookmarks with that book if you're going to. But you can have another bookmark that has information about your ministry, what you're doing, and things like that, and have your QR code so that they can go in and guess what? Right there. So just a little food for thought.
What Tisha was saying too about doing some, is it Tisha or Tina? Tisha.
Oh, Tisha. Yes, I'm sorry.
Thank you. In restaurants and coffee shops, sometimes just doing everybody who comes in sign in at the end of your reading, pull a card and somebody gets a free book.
Yep.
And then everybody wants to look at it. And occasionally someone says, I want one of my own, but you're out there, your story is getting out there. And the next time you're having something, people will recognize it. You said, if you don't show up, people don't know you have anything. But that's one way of doing it. If you don't have time to have the cards printed, and if you want some quality business cards printed, Vista Print does an excellent job and quick turnover from theirs. And it's a group us in the Bahamas. So Bahamas are it's one of the islands where Vistaprint is, but we work there, and that's another idea of getting things out if you don't have a lot to invest in up front.
Right, this is good, y'all.
Yeah, it is.
So we have like 12, 13 minutes left. So I want to talk a little bit. I'll talk a little more about this next week, but people are going to be looking for something on book launching. Yes, yes, yes. So, and we have books that we are trying to launch. So I want to talk about quickly the pre-launch phase, what you have to do in advance. This is the work that you have to do before you launch your book, and it is critical for you to get the buzz out and grab readers early is what you want to do. And you would ask the same questions that you would ask when you were writing that book. Who is my audience, right? You got to define your goals and your audience. You have to clarify your book's purpose. It's nothing worse than ask somebody about their book and they can't tell you. They cannot give a snapshot about their book. You say, give me a takeaway. They can't think of no, well, you should know content about your book that you can give just like this. See, when we clarify our book's purpose, we're saying, what is my goal? Like if you heard the introduction to the session today, right? What is your goal? To inspire, to educate, to entertain, to build your brand? You should know what the purpose is for what you are trying to get out. Then who is your ideal reader? You have to identify them. Technically, you should have already identified them when you wrote the book, right? But let's reiterate those things. What's their age? So when people say my book is for everybody, no, it's not. Only the Bible is, okay? No, it's not. It may wind up being for a larger audience than you think, but you have to start with a particular audience in mind. Is your book for teens? Because teens and tweens is not the same thing. And teens is not the same thing as young adults. And young adults is not the same thing as adults. And adults is not the same thing as senior adults. So you have to determine who is my ideal reader? What's their age? What types of things interest them? What kind of challenges do they deal with? And where will they get and consume my content? You have to know your audience. Then I would also say, under defining your goals and your audiences, you have to determine some success metrics. You need to know some sales numbers. You should know about reviews, media coverage, speaking opportunities. And what you can do is you can write an action step. You can write an action step. You can write a one paragraph reader persona, which describes your ideal audience. Then you will always know, and guess what? Your audience might shift for the type of book you're doing. So don't make the assumption that your audience is the same for all of your books. I'm thinking about the 5 love languages, for instance. The guys that wrote the 5 love languages, right? They came out with the 5 love languages. Well, it was a hit. So what did they talk about after that? The 5 love languages for couples, the 5 love languages for singles, the 5 love languages for relationships, the 5 love languages for young adults, the 5 love languages for children. So they took a concept and they expanded it to reach a greater population. But you notice each of their books is specifically focused and targeted for an age group? I'm gonna stop right there with my comments on pre-launch, because you may have something to share as well about your pre-launch process.
Go ahead, Mina.
Amina, were you gonna say something?
Excuse me. You just gonna say my name. Yeah,
No, I thought you was getting ready to say something. It's okay.
no, I was talking to Tisha. I'm sorry, ma'am. I'll say for a pre-launch, since it's my first time at writing a book, actually and having my own book, it's always a story behind a book. It's like God use you to write this book. Some people write things about their lives, some people write about their experiences, some people write about a lot of things. Mine is my book. I feel like my book is more connected to couples. More, that's my pinpoint. I think mine is more connected to married people, because it could be relationship or married couple, be and people that go through silent abuse, because you never know who is getting treated or neglected in a marriage or in a relationship. So it's always good, and it's always good, and also always about God, okay? And see, this the thing we lose focus on. God could give you, say for instance, God could give you a marriage, but it's not actually what God is giving you. God didn't give you this marriage, but you tend to go towards your feelings or how you feel, and you go towards this man, and turn out he's not the man that you thought that he was, because the mask has came off, and now you see his true colors. Now you see that he's not giving you emotionally, he's not giving you his heart, he's not giving you the things that he needs. He's basically giving you a cold shoulder, abusing you silently. And this is exactly what Angel went through in the book. The whole time she's seeking this, but she left God behind. She kept praying for this man, kept praying for her husband and husband and husband. But the thing is, even though you can have a lot of money, you can have a lot of money, be a billionaire, but one thing you can't forget is God and love. See, this the things that we chase after. Some people chase after money all the time, success all the time, but forget who the one that put you in who put you in the place. So I feel like that it's always in my standard, in my book, I always allow God to lead and God to succeed. And that's how I go about my book.
Nice.
So that's the way I went about the launch. And that's how we became the Dynamic Three, because um Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Three is a powerful number. And I love us, us as a Dynamic Three, because we always, each and every one, Tisha and Miss Bobby, they all have a story to tell. Like her story will be more on a relationship. Miss Barbie, she'd be more of a relationship coach or something like that in her book, because she went through anger issues in her book. And I listened to her real well about her book, because she went through a lot of anger, but God had to sit her down, just like he sat Jonah down in the belly of the goat. And Tisha, on the other hand, she went through losing depression towards losing her mom, and this life wasn't easy. It wasn't easy for her when she lost her mom. She went through depression, and you don't know exactly what a person is going through. So this, what she will go towards, is towards grief, those that lost their mom, teaching those how to overcome, even though that pain will never leave them, but you can overcome it. You can overcome and do other things. God will teach you to teach others how to overcome that. So I think that that's towards her audience, is more towards those that grieving towards losing someone they love. Mhm.
So, Amina, I think this is great, because you're a part of a group that is going out. And for you to be able to relate and understand what the other, because sometimes you can be a part of something and a person is only focused on their own piece. But I hear you
Yeah.
speaking that you are aware of what all three of you bring to the table. And I think that that is beautiful. And the fact that you bring varied knowledge sets on your
Yes.
book topics, you can reach a, see, here we go, collaborations, right? You can reach
Yeah.
a broader audience because now instead of just one, there's three of you that are out there. And when you talk about the what's going on, you don't just talk about what you're doing, you talk about what the counterparts are doing as well. So I think that that is a great thing to be able to hear what each of you are saying and to be able to convey that. So thank you so much, Amina. That was good.
Thank you.
Miss Anna.
Miss West, you were
Yes.
talking about the pre-launch experience.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to
We
talk
have
about the
like
pre-launch.
take 1 minute and then Miss Anna got a
Okay,
minute. Okay.
okay,
Go
yes,
ahead.
the pre-launch experience. Not only is a challenge for three people, but even having your own businesses and having your own like things that you have to do, we still have to come together with new ideas and fresh ideas. So it's a good time to come together, even coming on here today because some light bulbs just came off that just now. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Miss Anna.
I was just going to say, Amina was talking about a 3 and you were talking about 5. Some of you know that my last trilogy uses numbers each time. The first one, 2, 1, now 3, with someone with a marriage being challenged. We were married 2, now you want to bring in somebody else. The next one was 3, 2, 1, time to run. And the third one was 1, 2, 3, time for me. But all of them had that 3, and there were 3 main characters who were being challenged. And I'm hoping that as you read the book, you're challenged and you're encouraged to let somebody else read it. But that idea of having similar titles or similar words does help with the next sale.
And it also helps to, we're not talking about branding, but it also helps to solidify your brand as well. Just like when you see Centered in Christ, this remains the same. The color of the tree changes, but the overall premise look is the same other than variations. And of course, the theme changes. So you want people to know you and to know what you are about. There goes that S3 model again, right? Show up, speak out, share it. That's what we do. Well, y'all, that's our 45 minutes. We are here on Thursdays, and I appreciate your time. You're coming in. I hope you gained some great nuggets. You can always reach out to me if you have any questions. You can reach me at Jatne, Jatne, publishing.org, or you can reach me at jetnepublishing@gmail.com. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you, and hopefully I will catch you next Thursday. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.